So there's a couple of ways that the U.S. government can help in stimulating this market. The U.S. government can commit to establishing infrastructure, take on some of that cost, lowers the barrier of entry for commercial. Very happy to see that NASA step up on the COTS program to provide some money for infrastructure to establish new capabilities. That's great to see. Another way is the U.S. government can commit to buying capability from suppliers. In other words, serve as an anchor tenant. Any of these things lowers the barriers of entry and works off some of those challenges for commercial concerns. An example of lowering the barrier of entry, everybody has GPS paraphernalia. GPS, those commercial companies that market that stuff were able to take advantage of the billions of dollars that the U.S. military invested in establishing navigation systems. You got to ask yourself the question, if those costs had to be borne by the customers of GPS, car, handheld type systems, would that have gotten off the ground? I don't think so. And then you get to the final thing is, what are the true commercial demands out there? What value can a company offer through space to true commercial customers? I'm very optimistic about what Mike Gold and Bob Bigelow are doing. That may be a way to create true commercial value. But the ideas for true commercial are few and far between. So anyway, let me describe a little bit more about what this commercial 3.0 marketplace looks like. It's a new market for construction and crew and cargo, and I'll add propellant delivery to low Earth orbit. It begins with facilities in LEO. We already have one in the International Space Station. You saw some of the progress that Bigelow's making. I had the pleasure of touring his facility out in Las Vegas a few weeks ago, and they have a full-scale mock-up of that station that you see there on their factory floor. I think if they had transportation, they could have a destination available pretty quickly. Another idea that's getting a lot of traction and a lot of interest is propellant depots. This is a way to leverage mass fraction to enable exploration. It's one architecture alternative that's being looked at. I know the Augustine Commission is very interested in this. But what it opens up for the commercial marketplace is a new service to provide delivering propellant, and which is kind of a low-risk type commodity. You could think that would open up the doors for a lot of different transportation systems. On the transportation side, it's really two elements: a launch system, and ULA brings the EELVs, high reliability EELVs, to the party here. But you need a transfer system, either for cargo or crew, to complete the picture. There are a number of different cargo transfer vehicles, either existing, like the ATV's already flown. HTV flies later this year. Our colleagues at SpaceX and Orbital are working on two U.S. versions of that for the COTS CRS programs. The big hole right now, and Mike Gold pointed this out, is there is no commercial crew transportation vehicle in the works. ULA's focus for the last number of years in this arena has been on the commercial crew transportation. And this is a chart that we showed the Augustine panel yesterday. We've been working with a number of different commercial companies, Sierra Nevada with their Dream Chaser, had some discussions with our friends at SpaceX with Dragon. There are a number of other commercial concepts out there looking to fly those on existing EELVs. We've done a lot of work on human rating, and we believe that it's very straightforward to go human rate an EELV. It's basically two things. We add an emergency detection system to the rocket. It's instrumentation that will detect a failure and trigger the abort. And then for crew applications, to deconflict this with our standard DoD type business, we would add a separate launch pad, or in the case of Atlas, a VIF and MLP. Again, for Atlas, the non-recurring cost to do both of those things is very, very reasonable in a national sense, around $400 million. And then the recurring costs on a little bit more than $100 million that's kind of a one-off price. If some of the discussions we've had with the Bigelow folks, if you can get up to rates of 12 per year crew flights, we could cut that cost probably in half. We've bid the human-rated Atlas V in a number of COTS competitions. And fundamentally, from a schedule standpoint, the ELV is not on the critical path. We told the Augustine Commission within 4 years of start, 1 year of that is for a uncrewed demo, so we'd said in 3 years we'd do an uncrewed demo. That's a fairly conservative schedule. There was some conversation about schedule yesterday in the Augustine Commission. Aerospace put up a number that said it would take 5.5 to 7 years to human-rated Delta IV. We went back and looked, and Mercury and Gemini were 3 to 4 years each, and so that's what we're saying it would take now. The entire ELV program took us 4 years from start to complete, so we don't think human rating is going to take even longer than that. So, in summary, we believe the LEO Transportation Services business is a very promising new market. We think to stimulate this, there needs to be U.S. government commitments to establishing some of the infrastructure and committing to buying commercial capability. We at ULA are committed to doing everything we can do to help, and we believe we have the only flight-proven U.S. options for LEO transportation. So I really am bullish about Commercial 3.0. We need to make sure we learn the lessons from previous commercial lack of success, and I think it's important that industry and government work together. Just as a side note, later today, in fact in a couple of hours, hopefully we'll be launching the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, so go Atlas, go Centaur, go LRO. And then there's a photo of rolling to the pad yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Our next speaker is Max Vozoff. Max received his bachelor's degree with honors in electrical and communications engineering in 1993 from Curtin University of Technology in Perth, Western Australia, and a master's degree in aerospace engineering with an emphasis on astronautics from the University of Southern California in 2002. He spent 8 years designing commercial communications hardware before joining the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in 2000. His system engineering contributions at JPL included numerous studies in advanced mission concepts, spacecraft design, structural health management systems, and lunar habitats. He also mentored teams of student interns performing concept developments for JPL Mars office. In 2005, he joined Space Exploration Technologies, or SpaceX, as its senior mission manager and managed the Demo 2 Falcon 1 flight, which launched in March of 2007. He also served as program manager for SpaceX's Commercial Orbital Transportation Services, a development, or COTS, product manager for the Dragon spacecraft, and is currently director of civil business development. Max, please come up.
Thank you, Patty. Yes, Max Vozoff, otherwise known as furry mammal number 2 today. Okay, where's the presentation? I am, however, a liberated furry mammal. I believe commercial space is coming like an inbound asteroid, and the future looks grim for the status quo. Okay, that said, it's always a challenge presenting what's going on at SpaceX in a 20-minute forum because a lot is happening all in parallel. It changes tremendously quickly, so even if you heard a briefing a month ago, there would be substantial new things in this one. So there's going to be a lot of pictures. If a picture is 1,000 words, then there's going to be a lot of words. But let me try to blow through some of this fairly quickly. I'm happy to take questions at the end, I guess, about other things. I think the thing to take away is that this is real. It's not just real, it's imminent. We've already reached orbit. We've got a bigger rocket, the real deal, 10 metric tons to LEO. will be on the launch pad before the end of this year, ready to launch. And the Dragon spacecraft will be following that launch by 2 months. So